Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be bringing you guys my Week 13 preview of the Washington Commanders versus the New York Giants matchup. I'll give you guys an injury update, some keys to victory, and a score prediction at the end. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Super close, trying to get there by the end of the year, so please help me do that and hit that like button and that notification bell. This is an absolutely huge game for the Washington Commanders. They are 7-5 right now, in 4th place in the NFC East, but they have the 7th seed in the NFC, so if the season ended today, they would be in the playoffs. But I've talked about it before in kind of my playoff outlook videos for the Commanders. If you guys want to watch that, go ahead after this video. But if the Commanders sweep the Giants, which is going to be tough, but if they do and they lose out after that, they still have I think it's an 88-89% chance. It's in the 80% chance range that they will make the playoffs, even losing out after that. So these games are super important because the Commanders, in terms of, they're not going to win the division. It's basically impossible. But in terms of wildcard spots, they're competing with the Seahawks, Cowboys, and Giants are the main competitors. If you beat the Giants 2 times in a row, that puts you at 7-5 and puts them at 7-6, puts us at 9-5 and them at 7-6, and then they play the Eagles twice, so that is at best 1 win, and their only kind of easy game is the Colts, and I don't even know if that's an easy game. I could see the Giants only being favored by a couple points there, depending on if it's home or away. They're not that much. They're better than the Colts, but it's a game they could lose. They lost the Lions, and so did we, but way earlier in the year. But this is a huge game. It's the biggest game of the year. It's the biggest game of the year. They have to win this one. They don't have to, but if they do, it'll help them out a ton. And if they can come out, off the bye and win that game as well, man, it's gonna look really good for them in terms of their playoff chances. So big game. Let's start off with some injury news. Dax Milne, Benjamin St-Juste, and Trey Turner, all those guys are out for this game. So biggest hit there is, I guess, Benjamin St-Juste. But if there's a matchup to miss, or if there's 2 matchups to miss, it was the Falcons and the Giants, who really don't have any good receivers. Darius Slayton is the Giants' best receiver, and he's been out the last couple of days with an illness. He's gonna play, but who knows? Might not be fully himself. So Kendall Fuller can cover can cover Darius Slayton. I think we'll be fine there. And hopefully, I think he was on the side field a little bit today, so maybe he'll be back after the bye, getting 2 more weeks off. Should be good for him. Dax Milne, it's a slight blow, but not much. He plays a little bit on offense, but mostly he's our punt returner. He's been solid at it, but Alex Erickson will be fine for the time being. And Trey Turner, it is a blow. But I'm interested to see how Sam Cosmi plays, because he will play at right guard for the Commanders. That's what is expected. So we'll be interested to see. He still doesn't have full movement in his hand, but might be a little bit easier to play guard with less mobility in your fingers than it is tackle, because you got other guys around you. Questionable Chase Young and Antonio Gibson. I think Antonio Gibson will play. Didn't practice yesterday, was limited the first day of the week, Wednesday. So, I think there's a solid shot he plays. If not, you got Brian Robinson, you're fine, but you still want Antonio Gibson to play because he is a weapon. He's a good runner and also is a threat catching the ball out of the backfield. So hopefully he plays. It won't be the end of the world if he doesn't play, but it's definitely a big blow if he doesn't play. And Chase Young, questionable with the knee injury. I don't know if he's going to play. I'm not going to, I've said this every video for the last 2 weeks. The last 3 weeks, I thought he was going to play. He didn't. And yeah, that's kind of it right there. So until I see him on the field, I'm not going to believe it. And if he does play, it'll be limited, probably 15 snaps around that. And then hopefully coming off the bye, if he does play on Sunday, he will be, play 30, 40 snaps the week after that, just continue to go up. But the bye week will definitely help. If he's not back after the bye week, just shut him down for the season, because at that point, when is he going to be back? So that's kind of the injury update. Giants have a bunch of injuries. Their statuses haven't come out yet, but I talked yesterday, I made a video about their injuries, so probably nothing much has changed. I know Evan Neal's likely coming back. Daniel Bellinger, their tight end, rookie tight end, he's pretty solid, is probably going to come back. They've got a lot of guys that will likely come back this week. Azeez Ojulari, their second-round pick from last year, who's been pretty solid, but he's just been hurt almost all year. So they've got some reinforcements. So let's start off with some keys to victory. The first one, this is kind of a unique one, but use a lot of motion in the run plays and do a lot of those end-around plays with Curtis Samuel, and sometimes they have one guy in motion and then they have Curtis Samuel coming in across. And the thing that that's one thing I love that Scott Turner does. He does that, and like some plays he'll just have Curtis Samuel coming around and it'll look like he's about to take a handoff, and then other times he'll actually take the handoff and get 2-3 yards on a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and 1. That's happened multiple times this year. I like how he uses that, and the Giants are allowing 6.13 yards per carry on run plays. I think that's yards per carry on run plays with motion. So, I mean, they're not good at it. So that's something that Commanders should do. Look for Curtis Samuel maybe to have a big day rushing, just because they use a lot of motion. And the Commanders do use a lot of motion in general. So I think that'll bode well for them. But try to get some runs with, Curtis and maybe Jahan or someone like that, because the Giants struggle with that. And we honestly do a pretty good job at it. Next one, Daniel Jones. I don't know what it is about him, but he's good against us. He's 4-1 against the Commanders. We did beat them last year, but we got lucky there. They definitely could have beat us with Jerry Slayton dropping that. I believe it was Dexter Lawrence jumping off sides. Like, we got lucky there, but we did get the win. And it's gonna be a tough game, but you gotta try to contain Daniel Jones. And to be fair, like, 2 of those wins came in 2019 when we were awful. We were awful. We won 3 games that year, and then the next year we played them at a time where our record was terrible, and we were way better in the second half of the year. So we still do struggle against him, though. Like, in general, we have to try to contain him, but he's not going to kill us that much as a passer. Like, his stats are not great this year, but in terms of like how many passing touchdowns and yards, but sometimes he's pretty efficient. He's going to do what is needed to win, but obviously try to force turnovers. He's not as, he doesn't have as many turnovers as he did before, but he still, once in a while has a stupid turnover. But also, we got to contain him as a runner. We saw what Mariota did last week against the Commanders. He killed us on the ground. And Daniel Jones has a similar skill set, very, very quick, and he's strong. And the Giants have said they want to kind of go away from that a little bit just because he gets hurt a lot. But against us, it's a big game for them, big game for us. I think they'll probably do that, and we're going to have to find a way to contain them on those and kind of, stay disciplined and keep them in the pocket on those dropbacks and not let them on 3rd and 8 get a 10-yard run to get a first down. And just in general, we have to try to limit those runs that he has, those designed run plays, any read options or RPOs, anything like that. We have to try to contain them as much as possible. And I think, we have some smarter football players. We've got, Cameron Curl, who wasn't here in 2019, and, 2020 was here, but really started to take off at the end of 2020. We have Derek Force, who's a smart player, and I feel like those guys are much better than Landon Collins in terms of Landon Collins and Troy Apke were our safeties in 2019 and 2020, or at least 2019. So I think they'll do a better job of stopping Daniel Jones for sure, but I'm still concerned a little bit about what Daniel Jones is going to do to us on the ground. Sorry. Next one is the Giants struggle. So I'll just read the stat right here from Kime. The Giants allow 3.15 yards before contact per rush, 3rd worst in the NFL. They rank 4th in yards after contact at 2.1. It's not a good combination, and they also struggle against play action. So this might be a day where we run, and then right when they expect us to run, like a 3rd and 2 that we've been doing all day, do a deep shot to Terry McLaurin. I think that's what we got to do. Establish the run game early, and then every once in a, obviously you're going to do passes, but every once in a while, make it look like you're going to run, and then throw a bomb to Terry or Jahan or Curtis, whatever, just a deep shot to them and let them do the rest. So run game we're going to be able to do it this week. And with Cosme in at guard, like, he's really good in the run game. So I think that's going to help as well. And they've got an okay, like, Leonard Williams is good and Dexter Lawrence is good. So I don't know why their run defense isn't great in terms of those stats right there. Their edges aren't great. Azeez Ojulari's been out for a while. He's coming back. And then I don't know who their other edge rusher is. But continue to run the ball. That's what we've been doing. It's not running the ball a ton, unless you're playing against a terrible team, is not the formula for, isn't going to get you to blow out, good teams or, competitive teams like the Falcons and the Giants. But it'll keep you in most games if you can establish it early, and it works for this team in terms of winning. Not blowing out, but if they continue to do that, I think they'll be in a good spot. And then also, give the ball to Terry McLaurin. The last couple weeks have been a little bit quiet, and that is understandable because they kind of just did not pass the ball much. Last week, the receivers only got 8 targets, and Terry got 6 of those. But still think they should target Terry McLaurin more. Again, on some of those play actions, get him a deep ball or something. And overall, Heineke's had a good connection with him, but I still think we need to target him more. And in the red zone, target him a little bit more. And also, like, Heineke has to hit his targets. Like, McLaurin was open in the end zone, and Heineke, like, I don't know if he's trying to throw it away, and then he too late realized that, like, McLaurin was open, but I don't know. That was awful, and McLaurin should have had a touchdown there. But it is what it is. So the keys to victory, a lot of run plays with motion on them. So the Curtis Samuel end around, stuff like that. Got to make sure they're blocked properly though. And then other one was run the ball a ton, contain Daniel Jones, especially as a runner, and then target Terry McLaurin. So my score prediction for this game, I think the Commanders will win. My score prediction will not, Chase Young will not affect it. If he plays, he plays. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I'm going to go 23-20 Washington Commanders. I don't think we're going to blow them out. I think we're 2-point favorites, 2.5-point favorites. It's at MetLife, so, they get a little bit of the advantage there. But I think we're going to do enough to win this game, run the ball. Our defense has been great, and I think we're going to win this game. So, yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully we get the win. I will likely be doing a stream tomorrow night to go more in depth into preview and just talk about the season in general. Peace, guys.